What's going on, everybody? I'm about to talk about my cold plunge. So for those of you who do not know, I bought a freezer and I basically converted it into a cold plunge. I put some construction glue around the seams and I put 3 layers of plastic in there to make sure if anything happens, the water won't bust out and leak. And now I just leave it on for a couple hours a day, and I have to be careful because if you leave on your deep freeze with water in it, it will break the damn thing. But anyways, so I've had my cold plunge back for about a week, maybe a little bit less. And I have not done a cold plunge before this for about 2 years. I thought that for some reason, I thought because of my experience in the past, I thought that I was just going to be able to set this thing to 35 degrees and jump right in. It was not the case. So I turned it on, I got it running, and I got the water to about 35 degrees. There was a very thin layer of ice at the top, and I thought I was gonna jump right in. Hell no. I'm not gonna lie, I made it up to my knees, and I was like, oh my God, shocked the hell out of me. But it's okay, I was not discouraged. I gave it about 4 hours, chilled out for a second, and I did it again, but this time I got up to my hips. And then the next time was the next day, and by this time the water had warmed up a little bit. It was probably about 40 degrees, maybe 45. And this time I got up right below my chest, and then the time after that, the water was probably about 50 degrees. It wasn't very cold, and that time I got it up to my neck. So it took me 4 tries of going in and coming out with several hours in between each one to kind of acclimate myself. This taught me something. Well, I already knew it was obviously the nervous system. Whenever we're dealing with that kind of stuff, it's the nervous system that you have to dial in. So it took 4 tries to get my nervous system to understand what was going on. But I'm sharing this with you guys because I want you to be able to set reasonable expectations. So the first time, whenever you try a cold plunge and you stick your foot in there or whatever, it is going to shock the hell out of you. And you're going to sit there and you're going to say to yourself, I can't do this. How in the world does anyone do this? It's okay. Just chill, relax. It's fine. Try again. Later on, it will get easier. It will get easier. However, doing a cold plunge at 35 degrees for the first time, it's not going to be easy. There's nothing about that will ever be easy. But I promise you, it will get easier. Take it in steps. Take it in steps, and don't let too much time get between you and the next cold plunge. Because it's very easy to look at this thing and say, fuck that. This is so cold, and walk away, and next thing you know, 2 hours goes by, next thing you know, you're in bed, and it's the next day. Don't let that happen. Because trust me, I know as good as anybody, whenever you're sitting there and you're looking at the cold plunge and you feel how fucking cold that water is, trust me, I get it. It is hard. It is very hard to say, all right, I'm going to take my clothes off and now I'm going to get in that water up to my neck. Super, super difficult. But it's okay. It's okay. It's hard for everybody. You will acclimate. It will get a little bit easier. You guys have to give this a try. Now, why am I doing this? I'm doing this for testosterone. For those who don't know, I'm doing this for testosterone. Now, this is not perfectly proven, through studies, but it has been studied. And there is something to this. I learned about this from Joe Rogan on his podcast. Someone was on his podcast talking about this. And so about 2 years ago, maybe 3, that's whenever I heard this. And I was like, I've got to give that a try. And I did. And I only did this for about 2 months or so. Hard spot in my life. But what I will say is during that 2 months, I had incredible results for how much I was putting into the entire process between diet, rest, sleep, cold plunge, sauna, mindset, all the pillars. At that time, I was not putting very much in, especially in the food department. I wasn't eating very well. I wasn't juicing a lot, but I was growing like hell. And I know it was because of the cold plunge. So this is the first time in my life that I've ever had all these things together. And for those of you who don't know, I was out of the gym for about 3 years or so. I have been back full send for about 6 or 7 weeks, and I am putting the muscle back on the fastest that I ever have before. But it's because I have everything lined up in a line now. We have the mindset, we have the diet, we have the juice, okay? The sauna, growth hormone, the cold plunge, testosterone, and I'm celibate, clarity. This is the first time that I've had all this working at the same time, and I am having accelerated results like I have never had before, and I'm having the time of my life, and I love sharing this with you guys. Alright, it's almost a 6-minute video. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, even though I could talk about this forever. If you guys have any questions, very specific questions for me, bro, shoot me an email, merciless.training.nutrition@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, say hi. I promise to God, I'm not going to try to sell you anything at all. Like I tell people, I make plenty of money at work, and I'm doing this because I love it. I just want to help people change their life. I want to see people be happier, healthier, all that kind of stuff. All right, guys, I love y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. Take care.